Good evening, gladiators. We who are about to play salute you. Well, this evening we're playing a game that probably very few people have heard of. It's an obscure game from the 1980s, published by a company called Game Arts in 1987 in Japan, and re-released by Sierra in 1990 as Zeliard. Now, if you think you heard that wrong, Zelda? No, Zeliard. This is a classic PC metroidvania game that never really reached its popularity that I believe it really should have. And there are people that know it, and it's a bit of a cult classic, but largely unheard of, at least in the West anyway. Now, I remember buying this game as a kid. I think I went halves with a friend, and we paid, I don't know, $80 or $90 for it back then, which in today's money, probably about $130, $140. So it's funny, you see games these days and you think, people complain about the price of a $50 or $60 AAA title, but back then games were astronomical. I remember buying Ultima 7 when I was about 12 or 13, and it was 120 Australian dollars, and that was all my pocket money for 6 months. Lucky the game was so good. Zeliard is a really good example of how to make a Metroidvania style game, and how to do it with a lot of atmosphere and a lot of flavor. Let's get into it. Zeliard. 2,000 years from the dark reaches of another galaxy, a demon with not a shred of compassion for humankind descended upon Earth. He defiled the land, sending vile creatures to live in it, and thus became ruler of the world. The king of Philishika, appalled by what had happened, prayed to the spirit of the holy land of Zeliard for help in defeating this monster. With the help of the holy crystals called the Tears of Esmeralda, the king managed to wrest power from the fiend and seal him deep within the bowels of the earth. However, it is written in the 6th book of Esmeralda, the Age of Darkness. What's written? What? Tell me next. To tell the truth, I actually can't remember how to skip the introduction, so we're going to read it. But maybe I'll try a few buttons. Well,
beware, for I shall wake from my sleep of 2,000 years, and once again reign over the world.
It's a pretty creepy looking demon we have there. So, if I can recall, Zeliard was actually the name of the world, and the goal of the game was to rescue the 9 crystals of Esmeralda. So there's 9 dungeons, and at the end of each dungeon there's a arena boss, end of round boss. Whoa, that's loud in my ears. I might try and move my headphones up a bit. Alright, so credits, skip that. Now, I'm playing this using the DOSBox emulator. This is abandonware because it's been around for many, many years. It is a game you can find on any abandonware site if you like it. And if you're a fan of games like it, probably closely resembles Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I don't know, what's the second one? The second Zelda game. And skip all that. So, epic music in this game. Frame rate not so good. This was a game designed for PCs, and really back in the day there wasn't a lot of smooth moving games until the Wolfenstein and Doom guys came along and really kicked ass. So let's get into the castle.
Brave Duke Garland, you'll need money for your journey. I hereby bestow upon you 1,000 golds.
So that's the king of Philishika, and he wants you to go and save his daughter, as is so often the plot of these games.
Go to town and outfit yourself, then make haste to the labyrinth.
Blah blah blah, my kingdom. Yeah, always the kingdom at stake, yet never the king to do the job. Or these fat knights either. So the main sprite, as you can see, he looks a little bit like sort of one of the guys from Terraria or something like that. Of course, you can talk to a lot of the townspeople by pressing... Okay, that's my inventory screen. I've only got a training sword, but you can upgrade your gear with boots and things like that, and special magic. Now in here is the princess who has been turned to stone, or carbonite if you're into Star Wars. But no, it's stone. Looking forward to solo, by the way, in a few weeks. Okay, so it's quite a big town. I think you can talk to some people. No, you can't talk to those guys. Okay, this is a special thing for Sword and Sandals fans who remember the armorer in Sword and Sandals. When you visited him, he used to get upset with you. Now, notice the pose. May I be of service, sir? If you leave the shop without buying anything, you'll see this. For those who don't get the reference, I pretty much stole that animation and that dialogue word for word for the armorer in Swords and Sandals 2, and I apologize to this day. No one had ever heard of it, and I just loved it. This guy just kind of polite to you, but he flexes his muscles because he's kind of pissed off at you. Let's see if we can actually buy something and see if he lets us back in. It's a quite a deep game. You can upgrade your weapons and armor, repair your weapons. When you go from town to town, there are different things available. We can't afford anything yet. Oh, let's pause. Can't afford the wise man's sword. Not carrying enough gold. Okay, how do you get out of that? I thought we already had the training sword. He's trying to sneak me into buying a second one. What about shield? Clay shield? Let's get the wise man's shield. 150 golds? Bargain. Let's do it. Something else for us? No, we're good. So he's polite to us now. Alright, let's keep going. This is the church. With a fairly emo-looking priest. And you can heal here and I think save the game. And I actually think in the tavern in Sword and Sandals 2, I borrowed from that as well, where you pay the friar money to save. So once again, influenced by a classic game. Magic shop? A magic shop. Notice the girl is a little bit like the vampire lady from Sword and Sandals 2, so again, influenced by this. And you know what? I forgot that I was influenced so heavily because I remembered the armorer, but I don't actually remember, just in the back of my mind, that there was this magic shop lady. What are you looking for? You can... What about a Kenko potion? Let's buy that. I don't know what it does, but it sounds cool. We don't want anything else. Nothing else, please. I actually don't know how to not choose something. Must be another button somewhere. No, nothing else. Alright, let's get out of here. Now, by this point, you're probably quite keen to see what the actual game is like, right? So let's get out of town. One more building to show you. Right, the bank. Now, a cool thing with this game is in between each dungeon, there is often a town you can visit. And the town has an exchange rate. So I can go into the dungeon and find the currency, which is called almas, and I can take it to the next town, and the exchange rate might be higher, and I can get more money for it. But then if I hold on to it for a few more towns, the exchange rate might be lower. So you got to be quite sort of judicious in how you spend your money and how you save it, because I believe when you die you lose some of the gold as well, like most of these RPGs. What's that building? Looks like an outhouse. Okay, that's the save game. Go outside, and you can also level up in that building too, but we're not even close to that because we've done nothing except walk around and talk to people. This is less of an Oli Plays than Oli does a tour guide of a town, a fantasy town. Alright, the next place we go into is the first dungeon. And I love the music in this dungeon. It really gets the blood pumping. So, shoot. Alright. So that's a currency, an armor there, which is basically the gold. So you can run, you can jump. Now these labyrinths are basically huge mazes that you have to sort of map in your mind. Oh, fast. Because the game came with maps in the instruction manual, but the maps were literally about as big as a stamp. They were tiny little things and you could barely see where you were going. At this point, I want to give a shout out to a very good friend of mine, Jeff Wicks, who had his birthday today, and I forgot to wish him happy birthday on Facebook. So, happy birthday, old buddy. Jeff and I actually went halves in buying Zeliard, and we played this game a lot. And so I think you'll get a kick out of me doing a Let's Play video of it. Okay, healing potion. See that over there, that Satano door? That's the entrance to the next village, and we want to try and find that. But it's actually very hard to get to that point because, see that ramp there? We need special boots to be able to climb it because we're not powerful enough. And everything is trying to kill you. And it hurts when you get hit quite badly. Even like bats. There you go, bats. Always damn bats in these games. Bats and rats for now, but the monsters do get a bit more powerful. I think there is... Oh cool, that's a mana potion. Wish I knew how to use my magic. What's the magic item? No. So, as you can see here, he can't climb up, and this used to really piss me off as a kid because I was like, come on, try, crawl, or do something, but he won't do it. So again, the frame rate not good, the graphics not fantastic, but the sprites are pretty cool, you know, certainly for the time. I mean, I'd love a remake of this because it's, oh dear, that was brutal. We're gonna get all chopped up. Bats. Bats will be the death of me, I tell you. Oh, this one bat won't let me climb. But you can't really attack up when you're on a ladder. And I believe that your sword actually gets damaged in this game, much like games like Zelda, the Breath of the Wild, and Betrayal at Quandra, and other more serious role-playing games. Again, I can't climb up there. So all that was for naught. What's over here? A snail? It's been many years since I played this, and I could not tell you the way through this map even if I tried. But you know, this is a lot of fun. There's something about a good dungeon crawling game where you slowly uncover the map, and there's no sort of mini map for you. It's dangerous and exciting at the same time as you slowly get more levels and abilities, like a good metroidvania. See that little downward attack that I did? I call that a Rastan, because the original guy, Rastan the Barbarian from the arcade game, used to do that all the time. So whenever I do that in the game, I'm going to go Rastan. Alright. Sometimes I catch myself playing in the little mini monitor and my posture is so terrible, but I've got to lean forward to use the keyboard. So, alright, have we been there? I believe we have. You'll probably be watching this video going, go left, go right. Once again, not that good at these games. And I don't know where we're supposed to go. What about, let's go back. Very aggressive local fauna. But then I guess I'm in their home, so, you know, maybe I'm the bad guy. Can we get down there? That looks promising. No? There we go, we have a key, which is handy. But where to take this key, I'm not sure. So as you can see, we've got 42 armors and 800 gold. You transfer the armors to gold. But I think if you die, you lose the armors. I'm afraid to die and find out. Because if I die, as is often the custom when I do these playthroughs, that's it for me. Because I know you guys, you know, you're a limited time. You don't need to stick around for hours watching me play. Now, I'm gonna try and go this way. What? No. All right. I'm going to give it another minute or two, and if I haven't found a damn exit, I'm going to quit. So not only am I bad at playing these maze games, but I would probably be a very bad spelunker. Ah. Oh. That's it for our brave hero, whose name is not actually Zeliard, it's Duke Garland. Oh, okay, so the spirits brought him back here, which is very clever. But the spirits somehow didn't find it within their power to rescue the princess. Go figure. Now be on your way. The spirits are looking after you. So, that's Zeliard. It's a game, as I said, you probably haven't heard of, but if you have a PC and like that style of game, it is worth exploring. Maybe look up a couple of other YouTube tutorials on how to get further in the game than I got. As I promised, tomorrow morning I'll be doing a Sword and Sandals 3 playthrough, and I know that game pretty well, having made it myself. And we're going to go on a bit of a deep dive into it, and I'll give you plenty of trivia and fun facts about it as we try our luck against the Arena Champions. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe, and please tell your friends and leave a comment about what game you might like me to play next. I'm having fun making these videos, and I'm going to keep making them, as well as, of course, making the games that you know and love. Alright, bye for now.